Chibaya, Honorable Timina, and Honorable of Redmond, Lloyd Kapiko of Redmond. Those are the four we have in custody. I know that there's a bail application this morning in Masingo for Honorable Chibaya that is taking place. Hopefully he will be granted bail. But his crime and the crime of all those who have been arrested belonging to the MDC is nothing but the fact that they belong to the MDC. Being in the MDC is being criminalized. Civilian politics is being criminalized. Being peace-loving is being criminalized. We participated in the elections. The election was stolen. We were cheated. We did not respond in a violent manner, but we insisted on peace as a response. And we continue on that path of peace. But we see a violent crackdown of our provincial structures. They actually move around with a list of our members in the districts, in the wards. We have never been a subterranean or an underground organization. We do our politics openly because we are in a legal organization, a civilian organization. Why our people are being persecuted is simply because they belong to the alternative. This has not just been confined to the MPs. We have also seen citizens being brutalized. At night, people are no longer enjoying their freedoms because they are dragged out of their places of joy and entertainment, in restaurants, wherever they will be enjoying themselves, being beaten up. In Bulawayo, it has been extreme. In Harare, it has also been quite severe. All the high-density suburbs, we know of people who are being dragged out of their homes, being beaten up for no apparent reason. Some assaulted, some had lifetime and life-threatening injuries. We've also had cases of rape, as I indicated as well. This is what is happening. Now, under the context of what I've said, we have realized that we now need to take this matter to another level. What is it that we are doing? Appreciating, of course, the fact that this has nothing to do with the stairway. In Vale, they've started destroying people's property, tax shops, where people are hanging out their living, innocently and decently. They've also destroyed property in Chamisa, and when I say they, I mean those who claim to be from the state. Now, this has nothing to do with the so-called stairway or citizen action. It has all to do with a vindictive agenda to terrorize the citizens, but also to victimize individual citizens as a way of making them be subjected to fear and not being able to express themselves openly. What is it that we are going to do? One, we have said, as far as we are concerned, we are now escalating this matter to our regional bodies. In fact, our worry, as I indicated this move, I've already indicated this to our SADC leaders, that we have a crisis situation in Zimbabwe. We have a humanitarian situation in Zimbabwe, but I have not received any response. I don't know how many bodies are supposed to be killed. I don't know how much blood is supposed to flow on the streets of Harare before SADC does something. I don't know how many women are supposed to be raped before we begin to see the intervention of our regional bodies to try and become a source of refuge to the victims. There's no confidence. There's been an undermining of the confidence because people who are doing these things are doing them under the cover of the state. So we need another body that will be able to help us so that we are able to deal with these issues. We've also noted the impunity. Mr. Gomwe, who is known to have committed some serious crime, I'm told was released after some intervention from the superior officer. We hope that this will be investigated. If it is true, he has to account for what he was doing. We are told that he was seen with a group of some people with unmarked vehicles in the high-density suburb, terrorizing people. We want this to be sorted out, and we want this to be taken seriously. So apart from our raising of this issue with SADC, we also want this matter to be addressed in the context of the international community helping us. These are clear cases of unleashing of our military on an armed civilian. Citizens are defenseless, and what we need is obviously the intervention of the international community to help us in any manner possible to protect civilians so that there's a restoration of civilian authority in the country, of legitimacy in the country, and of the will of the people in the country. I want to thank you. I hope you ask some questions.
Chair, I will be taking questions. Any at a time. Any question? Yes.
There's a video of one of your MPs circulating where on the day of the protest he was calling for people to go and loot in the shop. What's your take on that?
Well, I'm also sure of that video. I can't comment about what I've not seen. I will have to see that. I will have to test the veracity and the authenticity of that. And there has to be a correlation between what then happened and what you allege to have been said by the MP. But we know that there's a witch hunt, which hunt is meant to try and cripple the MPC. We're not going to take that lightly. We have our structures in the country. We have our constitutional rights, which we are going to invoke to defend ourselves in the context of peace and our own public articulation of our positions in this context. So, in terms of what you are saying, I've not seen the report and I can't comment about speculation.
You are saying we are now taking the Zimbabwe crisis to the international organization. Does it mean that you've lost confidence in national dialogue in yourself calling for and that the President Mnangagwa has said you welcome?
Well, I must say that it's important for the nation to dialogue, but I can tell you that there has not been any dialogue. If anything, the dialogue that has been there between the citizens and the state is a dialogue of violence. What we want is the dialogue of citizens and their authority, but also we need dialogue of key political players and all the other stakeholders on the fundamental issues affecting Zimbabwe. The position of dialogue remains on the table, but we don't have another partner. Mr. Mnangagwa is not committed to dialogue. He has not indicated his willingness to dialogue. I wrote to him 5 letters, he has not responded. I've tried to send people to say we need to talk to save lives. Dialogue is important to be able to move this country forward. But there has not been any willingness. It takes two to tango. And I must say, the dialogue is not meant for Mr. Chamisa or the MDC to be in government. We don't want to be in government through any other door. The people voted for us. We have the people's vote, the people's money. But what we want is to resolve fundamental issues around reforms, around questions of legitimacy, around questions of nation building and peace building, including national healing, around issues of the role of the state security in our politics. Because it has become an issue. We now need to know the frontiers of our security sector in this country, so that politics is defined as civilian politics. The military, the police, and the intelligence playing their constitutional mandate to defend the will of the people, not to undermine it. We also want to have international engagement on the table and how we're going to do it, and also the issue of economic rescue program. That is on the agenda. We want to have this as a dialogue. But again, to have dialogue, we need intervention to have people secure. Our people are not secure. Zimbabweans are not secure. Zimbabweans are not free. We now need to have human rights being restored, human rights observance, respecting of fundamental freedoms to be respected. So the two are going to go hand in hand. We are still insisting on dialogue, but the problem is that we don't have any person to dialogue.
Another person? Yes.
Well, we've not seen any list. Now communication has been made. But I suppose that is a membership list of the MDC. It's clear that it's a witch hunt. There's no longer any issue of dealing with crime. It's now just an issue of victimizing the MDC to weaken the MDC. I'm sure you've heard what they've been saying about the MDC in this Congress and their interest. They can't deal with the message. They want to try and look for the messenger. On this case, the messenger are the people of Zimbabwe, the citizens. We as MDC are ready anytime to protest as per the Constitution, and we shall. But this was not our action. This action was a citizen action. We associated with the cause of the unjustified with the unjustified price increases of fuel, with the failure to pay civil servants their money in time, with the failure to understand and reverse the 2% tax that has been imposed on transactions. We've all said that we need to move to the removal of the bond note so that people are paid in a proper currency that makes sense, and we deal with arbitrage. We've also indicated that we need to have sound policies that have not been put in place. Let the people who have been arrested on political grounds be released. Let our soldiers go back to the barracks. Let our police do their duty. Because we have a police in this country, a police service. Why should we have the military doing what the police are supposed to do? Those are the issues we've been putting on the table. And then you have the list. It's only by the witcher, which we are not going to take lightly.
That's another question. Yes.
Mr. Chamisa, my name is Chamisa from Zimbabwe TV. In years past, we've seen when issues like this happen, MDC has tried to approach government like SADC, and the response is not always positive. This time again, you're saying you're going to approach SADC. What if they don't give you the response? What action?
Well, look, we count on the international community to support our circumstances and people. This is not an MDC issue, it's a people of Zimbabwe issue. We are not the only body that has approached the regional bodies, the continental bodies, and the international institutions. We have to continue to make sure that we give some kind of an intervention a chance. But if it doesn't work, the people of Zimbabwe have constitutional rights to make sure that they deal with a situation that is untenable if the constitution is being violated. And those rights we're going to obviously exercise.
Let me take it back to the issue of dialogue. One of the government officials said that they can only be dialogue if you recognize that Mr. Mnangagwa is the junior elected president of Zimbabwe. In fact,
I'm not a liar. I don't want to acknowledge lies. I've said I will not recognize what is not recognizable. There has to be talks. We are ready to talk, but we are going to talk about that issue as the first issue. It's a dialogue point. Let's agree on that issue. Why are you putting conditions? And why do you want Mr. Chamisa to acknowledge? If you allege that you want the election, why do you want the endorsement of an individual? So please tell them to be serious.
Any more points of clarity? Any more questions?
Thank you very much. I hope that we've done justice to the issues that you wanted us to raise. But to say the situation is really bad, as you can see by virtue of what is here in our House, but also by virtue of what is obtained. You know, our leaders, Mr. Komich, has been led to court. He's actually going to court this afternoon. Mr. Biti is in court on account of drug capture. Many of our leaders, Mr. Chibaya and Mafume, who is the spokesperson, was supposed to be here, but he's nowhere to be found. We've actually looked for him, we can't locate him, and I don't know why. Perhaps these are security matters. That is a worrisome situation, and you can see that there's a formula to the method. They are not just targeting people for the sake of it. They want to cripple the MDC. But the MDC is an idea whose time has come. It can't be crippled. You can eliminate all the leaders, but the idea is in itself a leader. It will always subsist, and we're going to provide the leadership that is required. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you.